Good day, folks. Ephraim here. This is a Model 15 Smith & Wesson, very much like, excuse me, the one that SFC Grazer was showing the other day in a video. This too is a law enforcement piece belonging to a good friend of mine who died some years ago, and it was left to me by the chief. I just wanted to point out a couple of things about the safeties on these guns. A lot of people have these guns and don't realize there are actually safeties built into these. Now, the main safety, of course, is your trigger finger, but there are a number of different safeties, and I'd like to point them out to you, if you don't mind. The first safety that I'd like to talk about on the Model 15 Smith & Wesson is the rebounding hammer. And you'll notice that the gun is empty here. All clear. A rebounding hammer allows the hammer to come back off the cartridge face so that it doesn't fire. So, for example, when you pull the trigger physically with your finger, and you'll notice that the hammer is now all the way through the frame. You probably can't see that, the firing pin inside the frame here. But when you let go of the hammer, let go of the trigger, sorry, watch what happens to the hammer when I let go of the trigger. The hammer actually rebounds, and there's a block of steel in the bottom of the gun here that prevents that hammer from going forward anywhere near a cartridge primer again. So that's a rebounding hammer. The second safety I'd like to point out is a hammer block, and that's a piece of steel that is physically blocking the hammer from also going forward should anything else fail on the gun. So there you have two safeties on the Model 15 double-action swing-out cylinder revolver. The third safety on this gun is what's called the cylinder safety system. And that's kind of unique because, as you know, each of these cartridges must line up perfectly with the barrel so that the bullet goes straight into the barrel. So if your gun happened to be slightly open by chance, for whatever reason, you would not be able to pull the trigger or cock it because the cylinder safety system prevents the hammer from cocking. It has to be absolutely closed before you can cock the gun. Now, the other half of the cylinder safety system is where if the hammer is already cocked, then you can't open it. So the cylinder safety system is, if the gun is open, you can't cock it, and if the gun is cocked, you can't open it, which is a pretty neat safety system, if you like. So there's 3 or 4 different safeties built into the gun that most people aren't even aware of. One of the nice things about this is that everybody knows that the trigger finger is probably the most important safety of the lot, and keep your finger out of the trigger when you're not ready to shoot. So there you have it. And finally, the last check you want to do to prove to yourself that this gun will not fire unless your finger is on the trigger is if you cock it, pull the trigger, and let go of the trigger at this point. If that hammer should drop, it will not fire a cartridge because the hammer block is in place. And here's why you can prove it, that the trigger has to be pulled before the gun will fire. If you cock it, place a pencil in the barrel, and then pull the trigger, you'll notice that it'll fire, because that firing pin struck the cartridge. So, and there you have it, folks. I hope you get something out of that. Thanks very much.